Hello folks. In this video I'm going to be testing and comparing a bunch of cheap microphones from Amazon, ranging in price from $10 to $40. I've got 7 microphones to test out, some powered, some not. Let's take a look at what I have here and see if there are any gems among them. Throughout the video I'll be putting the name of the microphone that you're hearing up in the top left corner. I will record with all of the microphones at the same gain level on my audio recorder, and I will make a note up at the top of any that I've had to boost and how much I've had to boost them. So I will try and kind of match their levels in post, but I will be recording all of them at the same gain level. First up is the Boya MM1. This microphone appears to be totally identical to the MOVO VXR10, right down to the packaging it comes in and the accessories included. It includes both TRS and TRRS cables and a furry windscreen. It comes with a shock mount made of rigid plastic that does very little to actually isolate from shock. The body of the mic is aluminum and it feels reasonably well built. The fur windscreen isn't perfect, but it will definitely help keep wind noise to a minimum. This is a non-powered mic and it will require plug-in power. As I said, from everything I can tell, this is the same exact microphone as the MOVO VXR10, but it is currently around $33 on Amazon, so it is a little cheaper than the MOVO version. And for comparison, here's a quick audio sample from the MOVO VXR10, so you can hear if there's any difference between the two. Next up is another $33 microphone, the Sairen VM-Q1. This mic is similar to the MM1 and VXR10 with an aluminum body and a red shock mount. The physical design of the mic itself closely mimics the Rode Video Micro. The shock mount is a slightly softer material than on the MM1, and combined with the shape of the design, it seems like it will isolate better. It does include both TRS and TRRS cables, and it's a non-powered mic, so it will also require plug-in power. The furry windscreen is a bit smaller, and it's lined with a woven material rather than foam. It helps it feel like the best quality here, but that doesn't guarantee it will work the best, and it is the smallest. I will test all of the windscreens later. The next microphone is the JJC SGM V1. It is currently $28 on Amazon. It's very similar in design to the previous 2 microphones. The shock mount feels about halfway between the VM-Q1 and the MM1 in terms of how stiff the plastic is. Like the others, it has an aluminum body, but with a more straight-sided design. It includes TRS and TRRS cables and a furry windscreen. The windscreen is lined with foam, similar to the Boya MM1, but the foam inside is softer and less dense. Once again, this is a non-powered microphone that will require plug-in power. Next, we have the final non-powered microphone. This is the NEEWER CM14. This mic is a very inexpensive $14 on Amazon right now. It has an aluminum body which is slightly longer than the others, and it includes a TRS and TRRS cable, and a furry windscreen. The camera mount is not a shock mount, and it's the first one that isn't even trying to look like one. While the mount won't provide any isolation for the microphone, I think it is preferable to the thin, hard plastic mounts on the VM1 and the VM-Q1. Those mounts likely provide very little shock isolation anyway, and this one seems like it would be much more durable. The fur on the windscreen is really long, and it makes it a little shaggy and messy, and makes it a bit larger than the others. It does have foam inside. Next is the Boya BM3011. This is the first powered microphone of the group, and it is the most expensive at $40. It is powered by a single AAA battery, which was not included. Being a powered microphone, it does not need plug-in power from the device it is connected to. There is a simple on-off switch and a power LED. It has a rubbery mount that should provide at least a small amount of isolation. It does include both TRS and TRRS cables and a furry windscreen. The fur windscreen did not come with its own foam inside, and it was far too large and loose to be used by itself, despite having elastic around the opening. The only way to use it was to put the included foam windscreen inside the fur windscreen. It's a bit fiddly, but once it's all in place, it fits okay. With the exception of the rubber shock mount, this microphone is all plastic and it's very light, but nothing stands out as overly flimsy. Next is the Samtian video microphone. I have no idea if that's how you pronounce it. I tried. This microphone is also powered by a single AAA battery, which is included. It has a fixed TRS cable, so you would need an adapter to use it with a mobile device that requires a TRRS connection. No adapter is included. It has a shoe mount like the others, but it is totally rigid. There isn't even an attempt to emulate the design of a shock mount. The switch has 3 positions: off, 0 dB, and plus 20 dB. So far I've been recording with the plus 20 dB setting, and even still the output is fairly low. Let me just show you how low the output is on the 0 dB setting. This is the 0 dB setting, and I'm talking the same distance from the microphone, same gain on the recorder. By the way, that distance I am from the microphone is about 6 to 8 inches, which has been the same for all these microphones. This is how much on the screen right now I've had to boost it to get the levels similar to what it was on all the other microphones, or on this microphone with the plus 20 dB setting. And this is what it sounds like if I don't boost it that extra amount on the 0 dB setting. Levels are just really low. And back to plus 20 dB. This microphone is all plastic, and it definitely seems like a step below the build quality of the others so far, even the all-plastic BM3011. This mic is only $20 though, so keep that in mind. Lastly, we have another powered microphone, and also the cheapest mic here at only $10 on Amazon. This is the RitzGear Microphone. Once again, it is powered by a single AAA battery, which is not included. It has a fixed TRS cable and a built-in shock mount that does actually feel like it should provide some isolation. It includes a foam windscreen, but not a fur windscreen. It has a simple on-off switch and a power LED. It is all plastic, but it's also only $10. And it actually feels better built than the previous mic. And no, I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of that microphone again. So that's a look and a listen to each mic here in the booth. Now let's do some tests on how well the windscreens work and how well each of these microphones isolates from shock. Then we'll do some outdoor tests. Alright, so now just for a quick outdoor test. First up is the Boya MM1, and I have the microphone pointing at me behind the camera, and I'm about 18 inches or so away from the microphone. So this is what it sounds like outdoors, not in a treated room, and the level on the camera is set at 90%. I'll leave it at 90% throughout the tests, and I'll tell up in the corner like I have before how much I've had to boost it to get the similar levels. So this is the Boya MM1. Alright, next up is the Sairen VM-Q1. Once again, about 18 inches from the microphone. Input level set at 90%, and this is how it sounds outside. There's a little bit of traffic, ambient noise, not a ton, and then, you know, obviously birds and stuff making noise. But so this is how the Sairen VM-Q1 sounds. Alright, JJC SGM V1 is next up. Once again, 18 inches or so away from the microphone. Input level set to 90%. And here I am, same ambient noises pretty much. And this is how the JJC SGM V1 sounds. Next up, we have the final non-powered microphone. This is the NEEWER CM14. 18 inches or so away from the microphone. Input level set at 90% on the audio input gain. Again, same background noises, a little bit of traffic, some birds. And this is how the NEEWER sounds. Alright, next up is the first powered microphone. This is the Boya BM3011. Same input level, 90%. Same distance from the microphone, about 18 inches or so. Standing behind the camera, microphone's pointed at me. Same background noise, everything the same. So this is how the first powered microphone, the Boya BM3011 sounds. Again, very slight breeze, not very much at all, so probably all, at the very least, the furry windscreens will be blocking it out. We'll see how the foam windscreens on the next two mics do. Next up is another powered microphone. In this case, the microphone that shows on the screen. And I'm standing, again, 18 inches or so from the microphone. Input's the same, 90%. And this is how this microphone sounds. And something interesting I'll show you when we wrap up. The back of this microphone is actually starting to fall apart. So, but this is how it sounds. And lastly, we have the cheapest microphone, the $10 RitzGear microphone, powered microphone. And there you go. I just heard some fireworks. All the same stuff, about 18 inches away from the microphone, and microphone's pointing straight at me. Camera input, audio input level is set at 90%, and this is how the RitzGear microphone sounds outside. After hearing all of them in the booth and outside, I'd say that the Samtian mic is a complete non-recommend for me. Despite being powered mic, the output levels are extremely low, and it definitely had the highest noise floor. Also, when I went to install the battery for the outdoor test, the back of the mic popped apart, and the battery door can just kind of fall off now. It does push back together, but it's just, obviously the build quality is pretty poor. So combine the worst build quality and the worst audio quality here, and you have a mic that's not worth $20. At only $10, the RitzGear isn't bad for the price. However, I don't love the tone that it provides, and the foam windscreen does nothing to prevent wind noise. If you want to use it outdoors, you'd probably want to buy a furry windscreen for it, and then the value drops quite a bit. The Boya BM3011 is the best powered mic here, but it's not the best sounding mic overall, and in my opinion, at $40, I'd only consider it if I absolutely had to have a powered microphone. The Boya MM1 is okay overall, but I don't think it's the best sounding mic here. It's tied for second most expensive, and the mount provides zero isolation. Okay, but not amazing. The Sairen Q1 seems to reject shock and wind well, but particularly in the outdoor testing, you can tell why. It rolls the lowest frequencies off a bit. Now that does reduce rumble, wind noise, and handling noise, so if you can get past the slightly thin sound of this microphone, I think it's a good option. It has good output level, and the fur windscreen is small and has a quality feel. The JJC SGM1 has the second best sound of these microphones. It's middle of the pack in terms of the quality of the feel, quality of the accessories, and the price actually. It does pick up quite a lot of rumble, but it has a more natural sound than the Sairen. Finally, the NEEWER is a pleasant surprise. I think it has the best sound here. I did notice a faint electronic hum briefly when in my booth, so it probably doesn't have great shielding. The fur windscreen looks a little mangy, and the mount doesn't isolate from shock. But I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a better sounding microphone for $14. Overall, I'd definitely say the NEEWER CM14 is the killer value among these microphones. But that's just me. I'm sure others will have their own preferences and favorites. Keep in mind, I can't say how well these microphones will hold up long term, and this is only a small sample of the options out there these days. But hopefully it gives you some idea of what you can expect from the multitude of inexpensive microphones available these days. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care.